and welcome to a new episode of the Geek Speaks. I'm the Geek, and this is me speaking. And I'd like to talk about two new trailers that just came out recently, one of which debuted at Comic-Con, and the other one I honestly do not know the origins of. However, the first one that we're going to talk about is Resident Evil Afterlife, the second trailer. Now, when I first saw the trailer for Resident Evil Afterlife, I was skeptical, of course, mostly because of that whole 3D BS that Hollywood continues to push on us, despite the fact that it wasn't cool in the 80s and it isn't cool now. However, Resident Evil Afterlife grabbed me because of two reasons. Number one, the trailer only showed action. Basically, it has a story, but it remembers that the reason that Resident Evil Apocalypse was an okay popcorn movie is because it was just full of balls-to-the-wall action, and the second thing is the cameo of one great villain in the Resident Evil franchise. In Apocalypse, it was Nemesis. In this one, it's Albert Wesker. Particularly, oh god, what was the Dreamcast one? The Veronica assignment era Albert Wesker, which has super speed, super strength, all that kind of thing, which makes him an awesome villain. He's a cool villain anyway, but his super version of him is just so much more awesome. It's kind of like comparing Shredder and Super Shredder. It's just kind of a one's good, but one's other better. So, Resident Evil Afterlife's second trailer basically showcases more of Wesker's screen time and tries to push a little bit more of the story. From what I can see, the story is basically post number 3, and please God, let it be, let's never mention number 3. But basically, the whole world's gone to shit, and Alice and now Claire, another cameo by another female in the Resident Evil franchise, because, by God, they cannot just stop name-dropping these people. And basically, they're just running around trying to find Umbrella because, honest to God, who doesn't want to kill them at this point? The action looks pretty inventive, and it does look like it would be a fun movie to see in 3D. I'm not going to the IMAX one, because that costs a shit ton of money. But I think it would be worth a look. The other movie is going to get me a little bit of controversy because I'm going to say right up front, okay, I like the Saw movies. There. Okay. Anyway, the new trailer for Saw VII, Saw 3D, just debuted at Comic-Con. Now, I will first say my opinions on the first 6 Saw movies. The first one that I saw was number 6 in theaters, because frankly, the other 5 didn't really grab my interest. Number 6 did because eventually I realized that I had been just letting this horror franchise slip past me, and I decided to go and see one of them. I loved number 6. Saw 6 to me is the absolute high point of the series. It was great. It had really inventive and fun traps, and it also did have a deeper story and deeper meanings to it than a lot of people realized. And I think the reason for that is that everyone else saw the other movies in theaters, and probably were desensitized to this particular series. One thing that a lot of people didn't catch on to is the fact that actually Jigsaw and the healthcare guy were not meant to be sort of political kind of things, but really they were actually representations of different ethical theories. Jigsaw is quite obviously a utilitarian, as he uses whatever means are available to reach an end, particularly to get people to stop destroying their lives because he's almost lost his. Now, the healthcare guy, on the other hand, is egoism. And basically, that means that he tries to elevate himself in order to elevate society. Now, that's what I think the movie was about. I don't really see the whole healthcare debate thing that people were looking at. And I really thought it was a good movie. I went out, bought the other 5 movies. I like 1 and 2. I like 6 and 2 better than I like 1. I think 1's a tad too pretentious. But 3, 4, and 5 did suck. I will give that. Unfortunately, though, when I first heard about Saw 3D, I liked the story. The idea that finally someone's trying to kick Detective Hoffman out of the chair because he is honestly one of the blandest villains I've ever seen. And also, the idea that some of the other Saw survivors would come back and try and talk to each other about their experience and what it left on them, that is a good idea. Because that's the one issue that hasn't been resolved. We know that Jigsaw's trying to make them respect their lives, but really, what we haven't touched upon is, how do they feel after this? What kind of traumatic experiences they're going through because they were nearly killed? Or in the case of that healthcare guy who didn't live at the end of Saw 6, but would have been really interesting to see, them having to kill people. I mean, that's Not exactly something that you just sort of skirt past. You know, so it'll be interesting to see the psyche of these people post-Jigsaw. And it will also be really awesome to see, you know, Detective Hoffman go up against Jill for Saw supremacy. And I really do like the fact that they're trying to end the series, because frankly, it degraded with 3, 4, and 5. I think it's time just to have one last good movie to leave it on a sort of above-average note and then leave. You know, before it gets pretentious and crappy again. And I love the fact that Kevin Gruder is back on direction. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You really do not need to make Paranormal Activity 2. Frankly, no one's going to care. And if anyone does, you guys are... Ugh. I mean, the first one was good, but do you guys really want a series made out of it? Okay. Anyway, at first, I was disappointed the fact that it would be in 3D. Okay, I despise 3D. I really do. However, let's be frank. 3D and Saw, were these two not meant to go together? I mean, having 3D basically means that they're going to be sitting there and thinking, okay, how can we have something flying at the audience's face? Now, yes, that's going to be annoying. But you know what isn't? Cool-ass traps. And so far, from the trailer, it looks awesome. Their sick, fucked-up minds are in overdrive for this movie. I mean, everything just looks awesome. So frankly, I think Saw 3D will be worth a look. Now, regarding the fact that so far none of my videos have actually had any kind of, video in them, if anyone out there that watches these has any idea where I could find a free downloader and converter, I emphasize free, for the Mac and Safari, I would really appreciate that. Because, there are obviously things I want to do. I want to, review games and movies and stuff on here, but I can't actually do that without video. Also, if anyone knows how to capture video directly from the game console or from the TV, that would also be awesome. It would be great if I could get some feedback on that. Till then, see you later. I'm the Geek. This was me speaking.